What if you could run $3 billion companies simultaneously?
What if you worked 120 hours a week?
Or what if it literally gave you brain pain?
Let's find out what's really happening in our deep dive today.
So, Elon Musk really only sleeps 6 hours and plans his day in 5-minute blocks.
He does. And while most medical experts from the CDC and the American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommend 7 or more hours, Elon Musk has a very different approach.
I mean, how does he manage this intense schedule without breaking down?
That's what we need to investigate. We have a stack of sources today. Articles on Musk's actual daily routine, medical consensus statements on sleep, and a massive Gallup study on workplace productivity.
Okay,
Our mission is to uncover the truth behind extreme productivity.
I'm ready.
Here's what you'll discover in this deep dive. The real reason Elon Musk blocks his time in 5-minute slots.
Yeah.
How he manages running Tesla, SpaceX, and X. Essential business vocabulary that successful people use. What happened during the Tesla Model 3 crisis that literally burnt out his neurons? And a free PDF with today's vocabulary and routine breakdown. Stay to the end for the full story.
Welcome to English Steps, where we learn real English through a deep dive into the morning routines of successful people.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Sam.
Today, Elon Musk's extreme time management and sleep routine.
Let's understand his routine A&D, learn some crucial business vocabulary.
Exactly. So let's jump right into his morning.
Yeah, let's start with that 6-hour claim, because I always assumed billionaires had some secret, luxurious morning routine. But looking at the sources, his first move is surprisingly basic.
Very basic. He wakes up at 7 a.m. and taking a quick shower is his very first step.
Just a normal shower.
Right. But he actually credits that shower as the most important part of his morning. It serves as this psychological reset for him.
It wakes him up.
It wakes him up and prepares him for a highly structured day. But honestly, the most fascinating part of his morning is what happens before he even wakes up, his sleep schedule.
Right, because he goes to bed around 1 a.m.
He usually goes to bed around 1 a.m. and wakes up at 7 a.m.
Which gives him exactly 6 hours. But he didn't just pick that number randomly, right?
No, he didn't. He actively experimented to optimize his schedule.
Optimize.
Yeah, to optimize means making something as effective as possible. He tested different amounts of rest to see what made his personal energy as effective as possible.
So he was trying to optimize his energy levels.
Exactly. He found that if he slept more than 6 hours, he felt sluggish. But if he tried sleeping less than that, his total productivity decreased.
That makes sense.
So he managed to optimize his routine to get exactly 6 hours. No more, no less.
It's like he treats his own biology like a machine he's trying to tune up. I mean, he's even quoted saying, "I don't find myself wanting more sleep than 6 hours."
He is. But looking at the medical data we pulled, this is highly unusual.
Yeah, it's a massive deviation from the medical consensus.
Completely. The guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and the American Academy of Sleep Medicine are very clear. Adults need 7 or more hours of sleep per night to function properly.
And the research we have explains the severity of ignoring those guidelines. Getting less than 7 hours of sleep regularly is linked to a whole cascade of health issues.
Like obesity, heart disease.
Right, high blood pressure, diabetes, and even depression.
It also severely impairs your immune function, your body's defense system. One particularly alarming study showed that when people who sleep less than 7 hours are exposed to a common cold virus,
Yeah.
they're 3 times more likely to get sick than people who sleep 8 hours.
3 times. The CDC even notes that staying awake for too long causes your body to mimic the physical impairments of being drunk.
It's wild. It drastically slows down your reaction time and ruins your focus.
Yet, Musk relies on just 6 hours. It makes you wonder how he functions the moment he gets out of that morning shower. Because he skips breakfast entirely, right?
He does. He heavily focuses on engineering and design work for his companies right out of the gate. And to maintain that momentum, skipping breakfast is standard for him.
And what about lunch?
He often eats his lunch during meetings, or he just skips lunch as well to keep working.
So he prioritizes solving engineering problems over eating.
Exactly. It's a conscious choice. He prioritizes deep work.
Prioritize meaning putting the most important things first.
Right. By skipping meals, he prioritizes his primary goals above all else. He decides what is most critical for his companies and puts that at the very top of his list.
But when you prioritize your goals that intensely, the sacrifices seem extreme. I mean, skipping meals definitely isn't recommended by any nutritionist.
It certainly isn't.
No.
But it demonstrates his absolute focus on his primary objectives. He views eating as an interruption to his workflow rather than a necessary break.
Which leads us directly into how he actually structures this massive workload. The sources note that he works between 80 and 100 hours a week.
Yes, between multiple huge companies.
Hmm.
On Mondays and Fridays, he's usually at SpaceX.
Yeah.
Tuesdays through Thursdays, he is at Tesla. And on the weekends, he juggles his other business commitments, including X.
Managing all of that requires a brutal method of organization.
Brutal is the right word. He relies heavily on time blocking, specifically using the 5-minute rule. He schedules his entire day in 5-minute increments.
I want to understand how that actually looks in practice. Planning a day minute by minute seems exhausting. Are we talking about scheduling 5 minutes to answer an email and then the next 5 minutes to approve a car part?
That is the reality of his schedule. Every single task is assigned a short, focused 5-minute slot.
Wow.
He does this because going from designing a rocket engine to fixing a social media algorithm requires constant context switching.
Wait, context switching means changing tasks rapidly, like jumping quickly from one task to a completely different task.
Right, and context switching between such massive, unrelated projects burns a massive amount of mental energy.
I've read that doing it this much usually destroys a person's focus. Our brains aren't naturally designed to pivot that quickly without losing concentration.
They aren't. But he manages the strain of all this context switching by rigidly blocking his time down to the minute. It forces him to be completely present for those 5 minutes.
So he makes a decision, the 5 minutes are up, and he immediately moves to the next block.
Exactly. It eliminates the time most people spend wondering what to do next. It also explains his zero-tolerance policy for wasted time. The articles mention that he absolutely hates long meetings.
Yeah, I read that if a meeting isn't useful, leave immediately. He'll just stand up and walk out.
His reasoning always comes back to his love for innovation and his desire to push humanity forward. Time is his most critical resource.
That urgency shapes his unique habits. But it's important to realize this isn't the only blueprint for achievement.
It's definitely not. And to be fair, despite the intense schedule, Musk does find time to exercise a few times a week.
Like weightlifting, running, and martial arts, specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right, though his social life is mostly confined to business dinners.
But if we look at the routines of other highly successful leaders, we see very different strategies. Unlike Jeff Bezos, who insists on 8 hours of sleep for energy, Musk thrives on 6.
Bezos has openly stated that 8 hours of sleep is the exact amount he needs to feel energized and ready to make high-level decisions.
And then you have someone like Bill Gates. His philosophy completely shifted over time.
Exactly. While Bill Gates used to pull all-nighters early in his career to build Microsoft, he now realizes they take a massive toll. He now ensures he gets at least 7 hours of sleep every night.
So unlike Musk, Gates and Bezos heavily value traditional sleep guidelines. Successful people don't all follow the exact same rulebook.
The differences highlight how personal productivity really is. Musk pushes himself because of his specific drive, but pushing the human body to those limits comes at a severe cost.
And even Musk has hit an absolute breaking point.
He has. Let's dive into that because the 80 to 100-hour work weeks are his baseline. But during the production ramp-up for the Tesla Model 3, the company was in a massive crisis.
Right. They were struggling to manufacture the cars fast enough to meet their deadlines. The company's survival was at risk.
The situation on the factory floor was what Musk called production hell. To fix the bottlenecks, he escalated his schedule to 120 hours a week.
120 hours. If you do the math, that's roughly 17 hours of work every single day, 7 days a week.
It is an extreme physical and psychological burden. During this time, he wasn't even going home. He was literally sleeping on the floor under his desk at the Tesla factory.
Just to show his team he was suffering right alongside them.
Exactly. But he admitted later in an interview that this schedule gave him what he literally called brain pain.
Brain pain. That is a terrifying way to describe exhaustion. He told the interviewer, "No one should put this many hours into your work. It's not recommended. You're going to go a little bonkers."
He even admitted he burned out a bunch of neurons pushing himself that hard.
So even he realized that 120 hours isn't a sustainable routine.
He did. Sustainable meaning able to be maintained at a certain rate or level over a long period.
Right.
Is 6 hours of sleep a night sustainable long-term? For him, yes. Is 120 hours sustainable? Absolutely not.
It's just not maintainable.
Even Musk admitted it was physically unhealthy and temporarily broke his brain.
What's the lesson for the listener here?
Musk found an approach that works for his biology and goals. Yours might differ. Don't blindly copy a billionaire. Find what works for you.
Because everything's a trade-off.
Exactly. Musk prioritizes his companies over a traditional life balance or a relaxed social life. It's a conscious choice, not a mistake.
But the Tesla crisis showed his limits.
A sustainable approach isn't maximum effort. It's what you can maintain. You might optimize for different things in your life, because if you try to copy his 6-hour sleep schedule when your body actually needs 8 hours, you are going to severely damage your own potential.
We actually have massive economic data proving that point. The Gallup study we looked at is staggering. Poor sleep costs the U.S. economy $44 billion in lost productivity every single year.
It is a massive financial and human drain. The Gallup researchers categorize 7% of the U.S. workforce as poor sleepers.
And the absenteeism data is striking. Poor sleepers miss 2.29 days of work a month due to health issues.
Compare that to people who get good sleep. They only miss 0.91 days of work a month.
That's more than double the amount of sick days just from a lack of rest.
Furthermore, workers who don't sleep well are much more likely to quit or be fired. The turnover rate for poor sleepers is 27%,
Wow.
compared to just 16% for good sleepers. A sustainable routine is one where you don't become a negative statistic in a health or workplace survey.
That makes perfect sense. You have to balance your ambition with your actual human biology. Let's recap the vocabulary we learned today.
Optimize, to make something as effective as possible. Musk optimized his schedule down to 5-minute blocks.
Prioritize, to focus on what is most important. Musk prioritizes engineering over eating breakfast.
Context switching, changing tasks quickly. Musk switches context between rockets and cars all day.
Sustainable, maintainable long-term. Working 120 hours a week was not sustainable.
These are real business words. You'll hear them everywhere in the corporate world.
And now you understand them in real context.
Bonus for listening all the way through. Download the Elon Musk Morning Routine PDF. It includes our 4 vocabulary words with examples, the grammar patterns we use today, a comparison chart of Musk versus Gates and Bezos, reflection questions, and our sources. It's exclusive for our full listeners. Check the description and download it right now.
Awesome.
Now it's your turn. Comment below in English.
Could you handle a 5-minute time blocking schedule?
We challenge you to use TWO of today's vocabulary words in your answer. Optimize, prioritize, context switching, or sustainable.
What do you prioritize in your morning routine?
The best comments get pinned, and we read all of them.
Share your thinking with the community.
Before we go, consider this finding from the organizational psychology research we reviewed. Sleepiness doesn't just hurt your focus, it's actually linked to aggressive behavior and unethical choices at work, like misusing company time or taking credit for someone else's work. It makes you wonder, when we sacrifice sleep for productivity, are we actually just making ourselves worse coworkers?
Next on English Steps. Sundar Pichai and his morning routine finding calm in the chaos of Google.
We'll compare their leadership philosophies.
Subscribe so you don't miss it.
Thanks for learning with us today.
See you next time.